I think today goes down as potentially one of the most difficult games to watch in Arsenal history. Since I've been doing this series at least, I can't remember feeling like this. I've got so many thoughts right now in my head. I've got so many emotions. We've got to talk about Granit Xhaka and what happened in the game today. And VAR ruling out a perfectly good goal, in my opinion. Let's start with the result, because that's the most important thing in football, right? The result. We've just drawn against Crystal Palace, 2-2 at home. Not good enough. That's now Watford, Sheffield, Crystal Palace. All teams outside the top six that we've dropped points to. It's not good enough. It's embarrassing. 2-0 up, and we effed it up. I mean, that's that. Do you know what? Let's move on. Because something happened in the game today that is going to be all over the news, and I think it might actually stick with me for a long, long time, because still, half an hour since the game's ended now, I still don't know how to react to this. So if you weren't watching the game, at some point in the second half, I can't remember what minute it was, I think it might have been like 55th minute, it was quite an early substitution, Granit Xhaka's name came up, and the crowd cheered. There was an audible cheer from the crowd, seeing number 34 come up as the substitution. And we all get it, right? Every Arsenal fan will probably agree that Granit Xhaka has not been Arsenal standard or Arsenal quality for some time now, yet every single week he's on the team sheet, and this season he's been promoted to club captain by the players. So you hear the cheers, and it's kind of a bit of banter, you know, it's football. When players are playing badly, they're going to get jeered. But then what happened next is really quite something else, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Granit Xhaka decided to walk off the pitch very slowly. Now, I'm not blaming him, by the way, for what happened next, but he didn't help the situation. When you get subbed off, when your team isn't winning, you need to get off the pitch as soon as you can, because we've got a game to play, right? We've got a limited amount of time left. Get off the pitch, get the sub on, and we get cracking. He slowly starts to walk, like really lethargically. I think the cheers just instantly put him into that just shutdown mode, and I don't blame him. I really don't, because it can't be nice. No one knows, watching this video right now, unless you're a Premier League football player or whatever, no one knows how that feels to be subbed off in a game where you're club captain for that team, and you're quite literally being subbed off and everyone's cheering about it. That can't feel good. But what happened next is, as he's walking off slowly, the Arsenal fans started booing him. And it wasn't just a bit of booing, it was really harsh booing, you know, deep booing, jeering him. But his reaction to this is wrong, and I also think the booing is wrong. So I'm, I guess, 50-50 here. It's really difficult to decide where to sit with this. But booing your own captain, no matter who the player is or how they've performed, I don't think you should be doing that. I really don't. I think booing a player it's very harsh. You know, they're doing the best they can. I know when he walks off like that, you just look at it and think, what are you doing? You're letting everyone down. And maybe the boos were slightly justified, and it's frustration because he hasn't been good enough, yet he still consistently gets picked. But the way he reacts is quite something. He starts throwing his arms up, like, you know, goading the fans. He puts his hand up to his ear. You can see in the replay, he utters the words F off to the fans, and then rips off his top and walks down the tunnel. Club captain. Now, again, I'm not saying what the fans have done is right, because I don't think it's right. I don't think you should boo a player. I get the jeers. I get it. If you're just going, you know, hey, he's getting subbed off, like, I kind of get it, because you want to see a player that's not performing well taken off. It's for the team's benefit. But I really, really don't agree with what Granit Xhaka's done, and I don't know what the repercussions are going to be. I have my own feelings. Personally, you know, if I'm Emery right now, if I've gone off the pitch and watched the replay, captaincy needs to be seriously questioned. I personally would probably remove him as captain, and he certainly would not be starting the next game, because what he's done there is immensely disrespectful. But, and it's a big but, I do get it. I do understand. I understand how awful that must be. You know, okay, let's bring me into this perspective, okay, I'm a guy who makes YouTube videos. I get a lot of tweets. I get a lot of messages. I often get abuse. I do. Every single day on Twitter, I will get some abuse. And I laugh it off. Sometimes I'll reply and be a bit of an idiot back. But I kind of get how that feels, but you've got to amplify it by 5,000. If you want to be in the mind of a Premier League footballer getting booed off the pitch, and the amount of abuse he receives online is shocking. It really is. It really is shocking, and it's a problem not just today. It's a problem with social media in general. There's anonymity that everyone can get away with whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, and there are no consequences, and that is an issue. It really is an issue, and I don't know how you fix that. So for Granit Xhaka to come off and react like that, although it's wrong, I kind of sympathise, and I know a lot of other people will, and other fans, non-Arsenal fans, will watch that clip and they will just cringe. It is so difficult to watch. It's one of the worst things I've seen happen in so long, and I just don't know what to think of it. It puts the result way out of my mind. It's a shocking result. The performance was terrible, and we're in a mess. But this Xhaka debacle is, I mean, it's peaking right now, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I have to make it clear that I do not agree with the booing, and I do not agree with his reaction. We're both as bad as each other. I've never been at a stadium and booed a player off, and I've been to, let's say, 10. I think I've been to 10 Arsenal games, so not many. I get it. I probably should go to Arsenal, but I hate London. I absolutely despise it. I've said it so many times, and I'm not a fan of travelling. So you could say I'm a plastic fan, whatever, but I would never do that. But I also understand the frustrations from the Arsenal fans. We're all just fed up with it. We're fed up with Emery and his decisions to keep playing Granit Xhaka. And the craziest thing is, he wasn't even that bad today. I actually think he was having a pretty decent game. But sometimes it doesn't matter, because you've got to look at the big picture. Over the last 18 months or so, has Granit Xhaka been good enough to be Arsenal Football Club captain? No, he simply hasn't. I guess he's got it in his history, being a leader, you know, captain of his national team, captain of Mönchengladbach. And I get that he's a leader off the pitch. And I know the Arsenal players probably really appreciate him for that. And they won't be happy with his treatment from the fans today. But they also will be disgusted with the way he's walked off the pitch like that as club captain. I know I've mentioned how did I mention it in this video? I might have mentioned it in a video before, but when you're club captain, you have to set an example. And although it must have really hurt, and although it sucks, and you shouldn't have to go through that, you just don't react like that. You just don't. You've got to be professional about it. And if it's upsetting you, then the worst thing you can do is display it in front of everyone, because they're just going to attack you more. You know, you've got to have thick skin when it comes to being in the public. And Granit Xhaka, I would typically say, has very thick skin, because he hasn't really showed this before. This is out of character. But as far as I'm concerned, his reaction today speaks louder than words, because that's not what a captain does. And it's not what fans should be doing. It's so difficult. I don't know. It's really, really embarrassing. We're in such a state right now. The club is, well, it already was a banterous club. Comedy Club FC. Emery, as far as everyone else is concerned, I guess, still on thin ice. I don't know how I feel. I still think Emery has something to give, but I think we can all agree that this isn't it. It just isn't, is it? And this is just another massive issue. I haven't been this speechless in so long. When it comes to something that's happened in a game, to a lot of people that don't support Arsenal or don't really care about Granit Xhaka and our performances, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just a cringe-worthy clip. Our Arsenal fans, they're so fickle. Ooh. But for me, this actually hits quite close to home. I've contributed to the hate on Granit Xhaka, and I feel bad. I've openly said in these videos that I don't think he's good enough. Now, I've not, to any level, been rude or disrespectful to him as a person. But strictly as a footballer, I have been harsh on Granit Xhaka. But I think rightly so. I don't think his performances are good enough. And when it comes to football, that's what it's all about, right? But it doesn't mean I'm not human and I don't feel what he felt, a little bit at least. I can't imagine that. He's not going to sleep tonight. He's going to go home and he's going to feel awful because he won't have wanted to react like that. It's just a natural response when you're being booed like that. I can't imagine it. Just imagine it now, okay? You're probably sitting in bed right now on your phone watching this or at your computer or whatever. Just try and close your eyes and picture yourself walking off the pitch with 60,000 fans booing you, shouting at you, abusing you, swearing at you, and your club captain. You've given, how many years has he been here now? Is it three and a half seasons, 2.5 seasons maybe? He's been here for that long and he's given his all. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Granit Xhaka works hard most games. I don't appreciate the walking off the pitch. Put some effort into that as well, but just put yourself there and imagine it. It would suck. It would really, really suck. I've received tons of abuse on a video before because maybe it wasn't a career mode video that people wanted to see or whatever, and it sucks. You feel personally attacked. You get that heart-sinking feeling, and I genuinely, genuinely feel for Granit Xhaka. He's a human being after all. It doesn't justify the reaction though. Let's talk about the VAR decision at the end there because that's also a talking point and another reason why I'm feeling so just... My blood was boiling at the time because I've watched the replay back 3 or 4 times now. I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that third goal. The goal was disallowed because of Chambers seemingly sticking his foot out, taking out the defender and knocking the ball away, which then gets deflected out to Socrates, and then he smashes it in. Even in slow motion and all of the angles, I don't see it. So what's the point in VAR? It's still subjective. There is still someone there with a yes or no button. There is still someone making that decision. In that situation, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate VAR. I think it's been an abomination so far this season. There's been some occasions where I've thought, do you know what? I get it. And this is how I can sum up my VAR feelings. And this is after a huge decision has gone against us. I am in favour of VAR, but I absolutely despise the way that we are using it. We could be using it in such a better way that positively impacts the game. Instead, we're using it negatively. You know when you score a goal, you normally cheer, right? You're normally really happy. But the first thing that comes to mind is, wait, is it a goal though? Let's just wait. Let's just hang on a bit. Don't celebrate just yet. And then a few seconds go by and you see that it is being checked by VAR and you're sitting there thinking, come on, please, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Have I missed something? Then the decision is made. And then if it's awarded as a goal, you cheer. That's wrong. That is completely wrong. But how do you overcome that with VAR? How do you change that? It's a very difficult subject and it is very 50-50. I see so many people supporting it and so many people hating on it. It's one of those things. If it happens against you and you get a goal ruled off or whatever, or you don't get a penalty from it, you hate it. But if you gain something from it, it's awesome. I honestly think that it's not VAR itself, it's the implementation. It is how we are using VAR. And it needs work, there's no doubt about it. From Socrates scoring to actually getting the decision, it felt like an hour, but I think it was a couple of minutes. That simply isn't good enough. There's just too long. And it was the wrong decision anyway, in my opinion. But I'm sure a lot of people will agree if you watch it back. It just isn't a foul. So even though we didn't deserve to win, we probably should have. So we can thank VAR for that. It got something right. The Zaha penalty definitely was a penalty. Chambers you've got to question what's going on through your head there. Let's say you're Chambers and you've got Wilfried Zaha, arguably one of the best dribblers in the Premier League, okay, running at you in the box. You know 100% if you stick a leg out, you are risking giving away a penalty. So what you don't do is stick a leg out. He sticks his leg out. And guess what? He goes down. And yes, he's already falling. He knows that contact is coming. He's out of the corner of his eye. He's seen that Chambers has stuck his leg out. GG, isn't it? He just flicks it off and runs into his leg. But it's a penalty. Just don't give him the option. Is this a huge moment in the season for Emery as well, with this whole Xhaka debacle? Because it's arguably Emery's fault just as much as anyone else. You're consistently playing a player that isn't performing, that is getting a lot of hate and abuse, and there's no way Emery doesn't know it. Why? Why consistently playing? Why is Torreira not starting? Tierney came in today and he did so well. Why not just give Bellerin a go? He's on the bench. Like, just play him. Oh, man. Well, I guess that's that then. Really odd, man. I don't know how to feel. It's just a really, really weird situation. And I hope any of you watching this that supports another team other than Arsenal, that you don't go through that. Because it's just a weird thing to go through. Just seeing your club captain walk off like that. The thing is, I don't see him as a captain. I see Socrates, Aubameyang, Bellerin. These guys are true potential captains. I don't see Granit Xhaka being Arsenal captain. Oh well. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching another Operation Arsenal episode, and I will see you next time, which I believe is up against Wolves. So that'll be another few points dropped.